We got Jafar in here, baby. Man, I've been in the studio a lot, Ben. I feel like I've been here a bunch. I love it though, dude. I told you we need to work something out where I could be in there every day. Got my boy Kahari with me.
Yes,
I got
sir.
Jafar with me. Man, we are locked and loaded. We can't wait for this show. You heard? I heard my boy Jafar in the background. Excuse me. He's coming in a little bit. But today we are starting the show off. Unfortunately, Tyreek Hill was cut by the Miami Dolphins today. Bradley Chubb. We lost some soldiers today. I'm a little sad, but I know it's the right thing to do. I know we're going to rebuild the right way with Sully, and I know that the Dolphins are going to turn it around. Kahari, what did you think about the breaking news today about losing 4 soldiers?
I mean, obviously, it was expected. It wasn't like it was like we were blindsided as fans or if it was a surprise to us. We saw the writing on the wall. We knew it was coming. We knew the new regime was going to step in and clean house. And, you know, these are things, unfortunately, that we have to do.
Sure.
And, you know, one thing I do appreciate is those guys that did leave today or that got released, they did have some nice farewell posts and enjoyed their time here. Said that we welcomed them with open arms. And
Right.
because, you know, you've had other guys like I don't remember seeing a farewell post from Jalen Ramsey or other players or Odell Beckham. Well, he didn't even play a snap, but not a real, you know, like a season. But anyways, it was refreshing, and I'm just ready. It was time to rip the Band-Aid off. Not sure what the next year holds for us. Obviously, it's going to be a rebuild year. But you and I will be there through thick and thin. So
It's all right, baby. We're going to still be at every home game. We're going to be in Vegas. That's all that matters. We're going to have a good time.
yeah, but I also think what's neat about the rebuild, I would definitely say, is that it's peaceful. You know, the expectations aren't there, and I think that gets all the jitters out of there. Going to the game without expectations, hey, you can shock the world, whether it's next year or the year after. But you know, let's get a playoff win. So.
Hey, I think we can, dude. Like I said, it's going to take a little bit of time. I think that they could build this team the right way and get us to win maybe a lot more than just one playoff game, you know? Maybe win 10 games in regular season, 11 games in regular season come the next few years and really start pumping this thing the way that we all know and all, you know, we wish that it could have been. So I think that that's great. But let's talk about a team that is not great and that will never be great and that will always suck. Jafar, welcome in the show, my brother. Show him the jacket, and they'll understand why I said what I said.
Okay, first of all, I think what he meant to say was easily one of the flyest teams in New York, but that's okay for right now. It's front and back starter kit, something light. But let's get into it. Yeah, I got my Jets. Definitely not letting go of any number one receivers anytime soon. Right now, I don't even know if we have necessarily, other than Garrett Wilson, a true number one.
I was gonna say, brother, if you didn't say Garrett Wilson's name, I was gonna say, Ben, it's not too late to kick him out of the Zoom, but I'm glad you at least mentioned Garrett Wilson. He knows ball.
He knows ball.
You know, but I will say, I think that for everybody who's in this conference, who's in this division with us, I think it was wonderful what you said before about expectations. It's like going into a season and you got 53 guys on a roster. It's incredibly difficult when you're going into these markets like Miami or the Jets when they're touting us as possibly being great defenses or touted offenses, and then we end up in the season being not exactly what we were supposed to and getting hit with, things like injury bugs. And for both franchises, respectfully, the quarterback situation is something that I think needs closer consideration in terms of our history and in terms of now, in terms of what we're doing for the future. That all needs to be put into retrospect.
And you hit the nail on the head. I was going to say, you guys also have quarterback problems just like we do. Obviously, you had Aaron Rodgers there a few years ago, and obviously he was there. The expectations were high when you guys had him, and then now you guys got Justin Fields there, and they're trying to boo him out of the freaking town. So, I mean, what do you think you guys go from here as far as QB?
Truthfully, I don't think that there's going to be anything in the free agency that we could possibly look at and be like, this is going to be a good fit. I think that really needs to be similar to what we see from Dallas's blueprint, ironically, because even though have they have their curses and their gripes with the league, I think that that's something that the Jets, we never had an offensive line. This is the overall issue. We haven't had an offensive line since I want to say 2008, and when we had a guy like Mark,
when we beat them,
you can see that when teams have an offensive line, Sam Darnold a guy who was a Jet, could end up making the playoffs and winning the Super Bowl, or a guy like Chad Pennington could come from Tommy John surgery and, I don't know, take a team that was maybe not necessarily on everybody's highest list to make the playoffs, but they might get into the wild card, but not my Jets.
Hey,
So,
that's a good name right there, Chad Pennington, bro. I was at the first game back when he came back from injury, injured himself again, was out for the season. I was at that game with my dad in New York, so that brought back a memory for me. But yeah, dude, I think you hit it right on the head, like Kahari said, bro. I mean, listen, it's very easy to talk about offensive line in the NFL because not many teams have a good one, right? And there's a lot of injuries in that position because you have D linemen that are in way better shape than the offensive linemen, that are stronger, bigger, fast enough than every one of the offensive linemen every year. Yet you're expecting these offensive linemen to stay healthy 17 games, brutally getting beat up every single game. So it's very difficult to have an O line. But I do believe in today's NFL, Jeff, that you need a quarterback that can get out of the pocket. And I do believe that's why Drake May excelled so much this year, because he figured out, hey, I don't have the best offensive line, but hey, I can get out of the pocket and use my legs and extend plays and extend drives, which ultimately led them to their success this year, because that team's not very good on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, Stephon Diggs, a 32-year-old receiver that's on the back nine of his career, I don't think he was doing too much to win them many games this
On
year.
his way to jail.
Yeah, or that
Possibly.
too.
But hey, I wanted to ask you, Jafar. You mentioned there's nobody out there in free agency. You wouldn't want Russell Wilson, or you wouldn't want possibly. Hey, I heard Derek Carr's thinking about coming out of retirement. He said it has to be the right circumstance.
keep those brothers out of my zip code. Out of my zip code. I'm good. I'm good. Let Derek keep being with his kids. And if Joey Flacco wants to come back, maybe I'll consider him over those.
You would consider Joe Flacco though still?
He's done, bro.
Hey.
Certainly not Russell Wilson. Certainly not Russell Wilson.
I
I
agree
was
with that.
joking. Yeah, I was joking about that. It was all a joke, but I don't think you're serious about a new regime or wanting to win. You're talking about bringing in Joe Flacco from the nursing home. Baby, you guys need some fresh blood over there, some fresh legs. I'd be sick to my stomach, Zach, if somehow, some way, we fumbled and they freaking got Malik Willis. Not
Yeah.
that that would even change
But they
anything.
wouldn't, though.
That wouldn't even change anything for them.
They wouldn't.
But I would be shocked.
They wouldn't for one reason, because they don't trust themselves, because they just did the same thing with Justin Fields. They don't trust themselves. That team doesn't trust themselves at all. But let me tell you, though, honest question, I'm not trolling. Do you truly believe that Dante Moore went back to school because he didn't want to be a Jet?
I think that, yeah, like I do. I think that I think a lot of these quarterbacks are seeing. I think that even in Caleb Williams, you see a guy who's incredibly brilliant.
Let me tell you something. I love Caleb Williams.
I think the fact that those guys are all now becoming either upperclassmen and got to see that brother and be in Chicago and go through his flurries. See a bunch of quarterbacks who did go through some serious flurries, like the kid from Carolina. I think that puts some quarterbacks, certainly like the kid from Oregon, on some reserve about where their stock could truly be, and maybe it's better to be in the right position. If that brother was able to go to Oakland, for example, I think that he would be in a better situation. He would be more willing to not want to go back to Oregon. But I think that with the current landscape, with the way the draft looks and the way that Mendoza looks, right? The kid from
Indiana.
Indiana, and who I think is a great kid, and he seems to be a person who
Mendoza.
Luck vibes. He gives Andrew Luck vibes.
He does. He does. Even more than Andrew Luck. But yeah,
I'm very
agree.
curious to see, like that's been a thing, like for these quarterbacks. I think is a really problematic situation. Is that, like you guys said, it's like you could end up being like a Tua guy. You could end up like one play and you're like Kyler Murray on the floor throwing up the C's like like you bang or something, and it's like you don't want to end up like that. That's bad for business. It's bad for health. It's bad for all the things under the sun. So that's my overall take on that.
I'm going to ask you a question, Jafar. Next 5 years, I'm going to give you a long range. Are the New York Jets winning a playoff game within the next 5 years? And I have no room to talk as a Dolphins fan. I'm just asking you a question just to see where your head is and your expectations.
In the next 5 years, yeah, I would hope so. I think that we would be jeopardizing and wasting, much like the guys the guys some guys like Malik Neighbors or people who have that kind of talent similar to Garrett Wilson. I don't want to waste that talent that he's got. So I don't think that in 5 years we're not going to see one playoff win. I could see us getting one playoff win, but it all goes back to like in between those 5 years, are we actually answering the holes on offense and defense?
Jafar, but you guys have been wasting talent in Super Bowl III. What's going to change now?
The overall hope, I mean, I guess for all us Jet fans, is that in terms of a defense, there is players on that defense who can play. We've seen them. I think that we just need to have a culture. We need a proper culture built within that locker room, and that's been something missing since since before Jamal Adams. But there was a hope that maybe with a guy like that, you were starting out like that.
The
And
Jamal
instead,
Adams fall off was sad, man.
That was crazy. That guy was
sad.
he was
really sad.
he was looking generational before that happened. He went up to the Seahawks, right?
Well, that's where he started.
Right. No, yeah, the Seahawks. No, he
that's
started
right.
in New York. He started
He
in New
started
York.
in New York.
Oh, I'm
That's
sorry.
right.
Yeah,
Messed
he
me
did.
up just now. Yeah, he started in New
Yeah.
York. You guys also let
He went to Seattle after.
you guys
Sorry.
also traded Quentin Williams this past trade
Yeah,
deadline to the Cowboys. That was another
Yes.
big time name. Y'all
Yeah.
might as well. And then Brees Hall's going to be gone soon. Garrett Wilson's going to be gone soon. Y'all need to
Yeah.
go ahead and start rebuilding now. Now, because we're already ahead of you, baby. You need to start rebuilding
Yeah,
now.
no, that I can see. In terms of rebuild, that's one thing that I will credit the Miami Dolphins on is that you know what? For years, if there's one thing you guys have always had and always had good eye for, it's receiving cores. Even if on other teams they would be usually a third string. Next thing you know, they play so damn well with the Miami Dolphins in that beautiful sun, in the wonderful arena that you guys have over there. That I remember like just everybody and their mother who have wheels, would go to places like Miami.
Brandon
And
Marshall, like you said. Kenny
Brandon
Stills.
Marshalls.
Kenny
Kenny
Stills.
Stills.
These are
I was gonna say Devontae Parker, right? Wasn't Devontae
Yeah, well,
Parker?
we drafted him, but yeah, you were just saying some of these guys though that were like second and third options on other teams, how they would come here.
Rashard Matthews.
That was another name I was gonna say,
Rashard
and they would
Matthews.
have success. Albert Wilson, some of these guys, they ended up becoming.
Will Fuller.
Yeah, that guy, the guy that never.
That boy pulled a James Daniel. The only thing was James Daniels played one more snap than he
Hey.
did.
I think you guys truthfully elongated Jalen Ramsey's career respectfully. I think you guys extended that thing for him in terms of getting the bag from other teams. I think that
I don't
you
know about
guys.
that.
I mean, I do. I mean, like, look, listen, he ended up on two other teams with contracts that are not, bare minimums. I mean, he showed at least for the most part. I mean, despite you guys having, your quarrels. I mean, I remember when even what's that brother's name? The one who would stomp out everybody. That was another brother. Who
Ndamukong Suh.
Sue. I used to watch him for.
It's a terrible signing.
days.
Terrible
Terrible
signing.
signing.
My dad and I were so upset when we signed him.
I was.
It did nothing. Did nothing for us. What did he do for us?
Him and Cam Wake, baby.
It was nothing. We didn't win any games with him extra because he was there. You paid a defensive tackle $114 million. Meanwhile, your offense sucked. It was a terrible signing. And then look, it didn't work out. He was gone after 3 years. What was the
The
point? of it?
Hainsworth tale. That sounds
Terrible.
like the Hainsworth.
And then on top of that, they set themselves back 2 years because they owed him $50 million. The guy was terrible.
Should we?
Waste.
Let me ask you a question, Jafar and Zach. Should we head over to the NBA, or you got? Because I still got some more NFL talk. Or what would you like to do? Like, should we jump back and forth, or just finish out the NFL?
Oh, let's go right to the NBA. Let's go right to the NBA.
And then what I'll do, Zach, is I got some segments with you. I'll jump back into the NFL with you.
Yeah.
When we have some more time before we run out of time.
Car, you want to open it up for them?
Yeah, let's open it up, boys. I would like to know, who do you guys have coming out of the East and the West in the NBA?
Go ahead, Jafar. You're the guest.
So I think this is really interesting because if we look at the last 10-game stretch for between the East and the West, what we see is a surgence of certainly the Spurs, which I think is my dark horse for that answer. I think that in terms of the East, I think that I love the way that Detroit is playing. But I do think that like the Celtics are certainly a team. The Celtics and the Knicks are certainly teams I see in the playoff bounds that could really potentially make some real noise
Okay.
coming out of the East. And I think that the Cavaliers are a crazy bunch.
So you got everyone coming out of the East.
Yeah,
is what you're
exactly.
saying. You
I just have
You
didn't
got
even-
every team.
You didn't even commit to a team.
Right.
You gave me like 4 different teams.
Right.
Who's your
Well,
team out of the East?
the main team out of the East, I'm gonna say, as a New Yorker, respectfully, I'm gonna take my Knicks every
Okay,
time.
respect.
Fair, it's fair.
That's fair. And West, and the West, you got.
And the West, I'm gonna have to say it's like a toss up for me right now on like the Spurs, or I think I wanna say Minnesota because I have a lot of stock in this
Ooh,
team.
you reaching, but okay, that's not bad. That's
Not a bad take.
It's not a bad pick. I mean, they are the 6th seed. They have gotten to the Western Conference before. But what I will say to you is, I'm going to say Boston. Unfortunately, I have coming out of the East. I would say a runner-up would be your Knicks, but your Knicks, I don't trust them. I don't trust your Knicks for whatever reason. I just feel like, just like your Jets, the New York Knicks just have bad luck. I don't trust them. And I would say the reason why I picked Boston is because when they acquired Vucevic, or whatever his name is, from from Chicago, I mean, he filled in that Porzingis role as far as a big man that can rebound, that can shoot. I like that for them. And without Jason Tatum, like, they are playing really good basketball, and I'm not surprised. I think that they're coached well. I think Joe Mazzulla's a bozo, but I think that they're coached well. They play with a lot of heart. They can shoot themselves into games, and they can also shoot themselves out of games. But unfortunately, I got to go Boston as my pick to come out of the East. I would like to say your Knicks. I mean, I don't care about neither one of you guys, but I just don't trust the Knicks. Now, let me give some credit where credit is due. That pickup of Jose Alvarado, great pickup. He fits
New York kid.
He fits the culture, and I didn't even know he was from New York.
Yep.
But he reminds me of a New Yorker. He reminds me of those guys that are on the side, bing bong. Like, he reminds me of those guys. Like, he fits the culture. The guy is a freaking robber. He would steal a Cadillac converter out of a freaking car. But he's good. I mean, he's good. I like him. I like him for you guys. He gives me PTSD playing against the Knicks because he reminds me of like a Laramie Shaman, or however you say it. Dude, like, just sneaky and good. Like, I don't know, dude. But anyways, so that's the East. I'm going with the Boston Celtics. I guess runner-up would be you guys. I think that Detroit, although they're playing really good regular season ball, reminds me of the Cavaliers from last year, as far as just the winning and the consistent winning. But I don't know. I just think that Boston is more poised, has it in their DNA, has been there before, has the experience. Let me not run out of breath. And I'm going to go for my West pick is going to be the Spurs. The reason is they are 4-1 against OKC right now in the regular season. Yes, it's the regular season. Shea is hurt right now with an abdominal injury. But, hey, at the end of the day, I am going with the Spurs. I'm riding with those young cats that are in San Antonio. You got Wemby. Besides Wemby, there's a few other dudes that they got on that
Stephen
team.
Castle.
Stephen Castle, stud.
De'Aaron Fox.
De'Aaron Fox, he's getting up there in age, but he's not a scrub.
He's still young.
And then also too, what's his name, who just lost in the dunk contest against my boy Keyshawn Johnson.
Oh my God, number 13, the kid who was the
kid,
runner-up.
Keldon Johnson.
Carter.
Oh yeah.
Carter. Dude. So honestly, I got the Spurs coming out. So it may be I'm not gonna lie, that would be a boring NBA Finals. But there you have it. You got the Boston Celtics versus San Antonio Spurs.
Yeah. So for me, I'm going with the Cavaliers. Cavaliers have been playing really good basketball. 7 out of their last 8 they won. And obviously the addition of James Harden is a very good addition to that team. Obviously they're only 1 game behind Boston right now. 34 wins to 35 wins. And I just don't think the Pistons are for real. I think the Cavaliers can absolutely go all the way this year in the East. And I'm absolutely going with the Spurs. Sorry about that. The Cavs are... yes, I'm correct. The Cavs are 10 out of their last 11. Spurs are 7 out of their last 8.
And the
So,
name, by the
very
way, not
impressive.
to cut you off, by the way, the name was Carter Bryant, is
Carter
who I was trying to say. All these dudes are 21, 22. 19. And Zach, you love your young core, so
I do.
could see why you would go with a team like the Spurs.
I mean, I've been watching a lot of Spurs ball lately because they've been on a lot of ESPN games at 10:30 at night, and I like to watch those games when I'm just sitting in bed hanging out. And I can tell you right now that that team is super dominant. Victor Wembanyama is not afraid to take the ball to himself. I was watching that game against the Lakers the other night. 25 points in the first quarter, unbelievable.
First quarter.
I mean, it's unbelievable. I
Crazy.
mean, he's really really different, and he's 21 years old. I mean, the guy's going to continue to get better, and like I said, that team is very good. You know, a lot of good players on that team, a lot of leaders as well. Harrison Barnes is on that team. Harrison Barnes knows about winning. He knows about winning. He's won multiple championships, 2 or 3. Excuse me, with Golden State. So I definitely believe the Spurs can go all the way this year, man. And actually, if we're going to go one step further, I think the Spurs are going to win it all.
Okay. No, I mean that's a bold. It's not even bold. What am I saying? That's a great pick. What I was going to ask you boys is Jafar and Zach. Give me your MVP candidates. I want to hear who you guys have winning the MVP. Unless you guys want to start off with me, I would be more than happy to go as well.
No, please go ahead. Start us off.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, Shea is dealing with that abdominal injury. I do think that they kind of rest him just so that they have more longevity for the playoffs. They're also dealing with Williams. What's his name? Jalen Williams, or what's the other cat's name? He's also no scrub. He's also dealing with injury. So I do think that Shea's going to get a lot of rest just to get him ready. So but he is also favored at minus 200 to currently right now, I guess coming out of All-Star break to win. So you have him at number 1, and then you also have Nikola Jovic at plus 300, and then they have Cade Cunningham. I'm going to tell you guys who to slam the money on. You ready for this? Slam the money on Jaylen Brown at plus 5,000. It's a reach. But to see what he is doing with that team, where they were even calling the Boston Celtics the playoff team, I'm giving them a lot of love today. I hate all you, just like you. I hate the Patriots and I hate the Celtics. But I'm impressed. I've always known Jaylen Brown was a dog, but just to see how he's been playing and just taking it to the basket and taking over that team. Also, he has some other cast players or role players like Peyton Pritchard and Sam Hauser and a few of those other boys because Derek White's having a down year. But, dude, slam it. They're second in the East right now. I say lock it in. Jaylen Brown plus 5,000. And if you're feeling a little bit more risky, slam Anthony Edwards plus 20,000.
200 to 1, yes.
Yeah, and they're sixth in the West.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a solid pick, obviously, for the value. I think Cade Cunningham is still good value, too, at 14 to 1. I mean, he's been carrying that Detroit team, and he's been putting up numbers that he hasn't really put up in his career. I like watching him play. I think he's a very slept-on number 1 pick that doesn't get enough credit, and I like the value at 14 to 1 for him as well.
Okay. All right, so Cade Cunningham. So
that's my pick.
Your pick is Cade Cunningham?
Yeah.
For the value, or you actually think he can win?
I actually think he can win it.
Okay.
I mean, it's tough to think that someone can win it when they're already minus 200 because they know who's going to win. So unless he really, really starts having that insane games, he's not going to win, Cade. Because when the odds are like this on MVP.
But he's going to be getting a lot of rest. He's
True.
not going to be playing a lot more games. I'm for real.
Yeah.
They don't even know when he's coming back.
Yeah, but Jokic too, bro. He's putting up triple doubles at halftime.
But it may be you might be right. Actually, I'm giving you your flowers.
Yeah.
I think it could be a battle between the Joker and
I would love
Cunningham.
Cade. I would love Cade.
There you go. And then to not to even skip over Luka, but I mean he could potentially win over my Jaylen Brown pick.
Yeah, but he rests a lot too.
Yeah. So hey, those 3 picks could be there. It could be a gauntlet between Cunningham, Cade Cunningham, Jaylen Brown, and Joker. How about
Jafar? I already know he's going to say Brunson, but let's go.
I like that.
I think that certainly. I mean, it goes back to why I was saying before of the Minnesota coming out of the West. I think that the Spurs pick that you guys were talking about before is obviously a really, really, really good one, and they have been playing fantastic. When it comes to my pick for MVP, I think that falls on the shoulders of Mr. Edwards. I think of clearing. If he can in this next 20 game stretch show us why he's a guy who they gave the keys to, and not that he needs to, but necessarily get his team on that train so that when they get to the playoffs, because this is one thing that I think that certainly shows a real MVP. What happens when a team has to get into that half court style? Now, certainly, I feel like we see more sets like that happen in the playoffs than we do in the regular season. So with that said, I think that the guy in the regular season, if it ends up being a guy like Cade Cunningham, I'm very happy with the way that he's progressed Detroit's overall trajectory as a team. But is he like in year 3? So are we saying that like players that have like the fat of the season are going to take it over, like a Peyton Hillis type of thing in the NFL?
In Hellas.
Will on the Madden cover where they end up not saying that
That's
obviously
a
it's a little
forgotten
bit
about running back right there, brother.
right, but a guy who ends up on a Madden cover and blew the stats up, and I love Luca, but I can't even throw him in that MVP conversation because his team clearly has a bunch of disarray going on, regardless of their position in the West. And I mean, it's curious because some of these, and then it's like Shea, but like you guys said, he's injured, but they did win. They have the longest winning streak in the NBA as of right now. They had 16 straight.
Right. Jafar, you know what, man? You got me excited. You mentioned Peyton Hillis. You got me back on NFL. I'm going completely off topic here. Who's the best receiver in the NFL in your opinion right now?
I think that it's, I think that it's a serious toss. I still think that it is genuinely a toss up. That's the problem. But I do think that whoever really it is, it's got to be Jamar Chase. The guy had 200 yards. I mean, some games this
It's a fair pick.
I like that.
despite the fact that he's got serious issues on that whole team. Like that team has problems too. I can't ignore the fact that that brother can really go out there and really route the, excuse my language, but route the shit out of people. And it's. I feel like guys like Chad Ochocinco look at that and are like, "Oh my God, I wish I was on the other side of you. My checks would look so nice every week."
T.
Yeah.
Higgins, shout out T. Higgins.
Shout out to T Higgins because
Shout out to him. Let me ask y'all a question. I mean, I guess we're in NFL, we're back, and we're this and we're that. Since we're speaking on wide receivers, where do you guys see Tyreek Hill ending up if he ever does play again? With
Chiefs.
Chiefs, so you go reunion.
Why not?
All right,
You
yeah.
can, you can land him on a cheap deal. You know that that's a winning franchise, winning coach, winning organization. You're going to have Patrick Mahomes back hopefully by week 1, maybe at worst week 5. Yeah, go back.
He won't be ready to start the season, Tyreek Hill.
Probably not.
Right. So.
But I'd go back on that team, get practicing with that team, establish that team before the dynasty's really dead. Maybe you got one more year out of Kelsey, if that. Maybe not. He doesn't even play. Where else are you going to go? You're 32 years old at this point. Go back to what you know. Go back to the old stomping grounds. That's my opinion.
Do me a favor, Jafar. While we're still in the NFL, go ahead. I want you to go on the New York Jets. I believe it would be their Instagram. And I want you to look at their home and away games. And while you're studying that, I am going to quiz Mr. Zach Smackz. Not quiz him, but I'm just going to ask his opinion and prediction on the Miami Dolphins' upcoming games like we did to the New England Patriots.
Oh, you want me to give a record?
Sure. We did that last week, and I want you to lead honestly and not with your heart.
Okay.
You're
that's
always
fair.
honest. So, all right. So, obviously, let's go ahead.
I mean, we don't even know who our quarterback's going to be, but
We
it's
don't.
a little tough. But
That's
against the Bills, I'll just call that an L.
so they're sweeping us.
I'll call that a sweep.
Okay.
Sure. I'll
Fine.
call that a sweep.
Go ahead.
Patriots, I'll call it a split.
Okay, so now we're 1-1.
Jets, W.
Sweep?
No, 1-1.
Okay.
Chiefs, L. Chargers, L. Bears, L. Lions, L. Bengals. It could be a weird game. Give it a W.
Wow.
I already said the Bills. Patriots, I said split, right? And Jets, I said split.
Did you say split?
Yeah, I said split for New England.
Okay.
Yeah, I said split for New England. Raiders, W. Minnesota Vikings, L. Green Bay Packers, L. Indianapolis Colts, W. Broncos, L. San Francisco, L.
So you got us winning a total of 5 games next
I
year.
think that's pretty fair. I believe that. I mean, hopefully not, dude. Obviously, I want us to go undefeated, but if you ask me to be honest and realistic, that's my opinion.
Okay.
I mean, we'll see what the win total's set at. I think it will probably be set right around there. 5.5, 6 games.
Okay.
Maybe 4.5.
All right.
I think I'm right on the money.
How we looking, Jafar?
Well, I'll tell you the honest truth. I know that it's really easy for my team to easily go 0-6, 0-7 in the first 7 games of the season. That I can tell you that much. But I do think that maybe the prayer would get to be somewhere along the lines of like 2-6 to start the first 8 games of the season, the first half. And then, our schedule seems to certainly lighten up the second half of the season. You guys sound like you guys also have a treacherous schedule ahead of you guys to start the season. But I mean, it would be amazing if somehow we're in 500. I mean, but I can see us having a
Who
real.
do they play week 3?
So week 3 they're playing Detroit.
No,
What about week 4?
Jafar, don't fall for the bait. That's not the. That's just showing you. They haven't announced the actual order yet.
I'm just messing with you, brother.
Those are just your opponents next year.
Oh, that's evil. Oh, that's evil.
But wait. I didn't set you up. I all we did was look at the image to know who we were playing. I didn't want you to think that was your schedule. I just wanted you to look at that and say,
I'm completely messing with you,
which
my brother.
teams can we beat on this piece of paper? So forget the record or the order. I'm sorry. What teams on that paper can you beat? And I'm going to tally them up. Give me a name.
I definitely see it. I see us sneaking away a win against Cleveland.
Okay.
A place like Arizona. I think we can get one from you guys.
Okay.
I would pray to God. Nah, we can't get nothing from the Bills. But I think that a team like Minnesota, we can get a W from.
Oh.
A team like Vegas, who's still not necessarily quite there yet.
Okay.
I think that's. I mean, and then like I'm pushing luck here with places like Denver possibly as taking.
Well,
like even.
So with that being said, you have yourself, or I'm not yourself, but the New York Jets finishing with about 5 wins as well as the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys are actually predicted to be a better team than we are this year, just so you know, this upcoming year. The Browns and the Dolphins are supposed to be the worst teams in the NFL, 31 and 32.
What about the Cardinals?
I didn't even look at that. I just remember seeing the Dolphins.
How did they not get
That's
thrown
the worst
into
team
that?
ever.
I love how people do like the breakdowns and like in terms of like points totals and all of that stuff to kind of deduce what kind of seasons we will all have. But I mean, like, I do think that starts the argument of like, come on, we do have the eye test. And there are certainly some teams that you've even seen Miami throughout the years steal a game from out of nowhere, even though we were in these particular stretches where our teams weren't looking necessarily all centered and all right. And when I look at this schedule, it's like I could really only see games that we would sneak away from people. Like Tennessee is building something special over there, and that's like a last game of the year. Who knows where they'll be in terms of like the AFC? Like that's a scary.
They'll win 7 games this year. But
right, like.
Anyways, Jafar, listen, this is something that I want to do. This is something that we don't talk about too much on the Zach Smackz show, but I did prep you on it. Tell me how you're feeling. I don't know. Are you a Yankees fan? Are you a Mets fan? Where are you?
So this is an interesting thing for me. So my family is a bunch of Yankee fans, and I grew up, kind of being the opposition just by tally. So I was a big Met fan up until probably 2011 or 12, and then I had to just pay respects to my city when I got to go to things like the parade. I was like, all right, I gotta put respect on the Yankees. And at the end of the day, they have such a pedigree. How do you hate on them?
Sure.
They're ingratiated in New York culture. The pinstripes is something else. So
you getting excited for baseball season?
I am honestly. I am excited for baseball season, and I was, really genuinely looking at, the rosters and looking at the situation for both the Yankees and Mets, and I think that there's genuinely just a lot for everybody in the New York area to be excited about, truthfully.
Yeah, I mean, dude, listen, the Mets got our 2 best relievers, which is crazy. Obviously, they got Weaver and they got Devin Williams, which was insane. But they did make some weird moves. Obviously, trading away Brandon Nimmo was a little bit weird. And obviously, you're paying Juan Soto $765 million. That doesn't open up too much space for everyone else. Although I do believe that the Yankees believe that they can win with the same lineup as last year. If you look, we only have 2 players missing from last year's lineup.
Yeah, you guys ran it back right from the trade.
They ran it right back. The only thing that I'm not too happy about, which I know is crazy to say because he had a good regular season, is Trent Grisham, bro. I think that they paid a little bit too much on that qualifying offer, $22 million for him, when I think you could have maybe spent that money on getting like a Kyle Tucker or getting another piece in there. I was obviously happy that they retained Bellinger, but I don't know, dude. I'm excited for the season, bro, to finally get Garrett Cole back. Obviously, Clark Schmidt starting off on the IR. But hopefully they can figure out a way to win some games, dude, and Volpe's not a cancer this year.
That would be the hope. I mean, I saw that like guys like Carlos LaRange is also like a person who's in your bullpen who I think
he struck out Judge today, 102.
Yeah, I saw that. That was something else.
Swinging too.
But there was, listen, they said that they didn't show the clip, but the pitch right before it was because Judge smacked it out of the stadium.
Oh, of course they didn't show that.
But I didn't show that. So the next one was him giving him the heater immediately after that and giving him the strike. But you're not wrong. 102 on the meter is some Strasburg numbers. That's some heat right there.
Yeah, I,
So
I
I
was
think
super
right,
hyped up about the addition of Ryan Weathers too from the Marlins, dude. I mean
right.
that kid's throwing 100 miles per hour too.
And I think to your point about Bellinger, you know what? Something that's incredibly important in any sport in general is having championship pedigree. And at least there's guys who are on your roster right now who know what that feels like to hold up gold. You know, you were saying before about the Mets and in terms of us spending certain money, but you know where I was happy was in terms of the catcher department, we ended up getting the guy from the Dodgers who, also obviously won a championship and something that we need. You need that kind of culture to
Who?
live and
Not
breathe.
Melendez,
What's his name? I have it written down here.
because you
Excuse me.
guys got MJ Melendez from the Kansas City Royals the other day. I saw him at the celebrity poker tournament in Vegas. I talked to him. He's a good guy.
Stop.
He played for the Royals, but now he just signed with the Mets.
Wow. So I just think that in general, when it comes to the Mets, I mean, when it comes to the Yankees, excuse me, you guys have a very, very interesting lineup. Like I look at this lineup and I think to myself, like, wow. I mean, there's hitters here. Like there are legitimate. So like, yes, MJ Melendez is who I was speaking on. But when I look at like, for example, like the lineup for the Yanks, even on the side of uh batting, it's like holy man, it's like what are we talking about here? We got you got Trent Grisham start, which I think you're gonna get your money back for that one. I think that you might eat your words on that last comment. I
We'll
think that
see.
that brother is gonna be underrated. We got Judge, Bellinger, Rice, Stanton, Grisham, McMahon, Caballero, White.
Don't you say McMahon's name and hitting in the same sentence.
I think that like Caballero is going to be an interesting guy because you guys right now have a situation in terms of like you were saying before when it comes to the maybe hopefully not cancer in your locker room coming up.
Well, he's going to play in front of Volpe all day long. He's going to play in front of Volpe until they prove that Volpe can play in front of him. That's going to happen every game.
What do you think about that? Is that deserved? Is that how it?
Yeah, it's deserved. Yeah, it's deserved. He played incredible. We traded him from Tampa in the middle of playing them last year, and look at him. I mean, the guy can bat, and he's not as good of a glove as Volpe is, but who's to say Volpe's a good glove? What do you have? 13 errors in the first 50 games this year? Last year?
He did have poor numbers than he did in recent years.
Yeah, he was bad, dude. I don't even think he batted more than 208 last year. McMahon can't bat either, but McMahon's a Gold Glove.
Yeah, the brother definitely didn't hit too high. That's something that's understandable. Now, what do you think? And this is, as somebody who's reintroducing myself to that Yankee bullpen, it certainly looks like you guys have some serious, serious people who can throw the ball.
Yeah. I mean, they got the guy from the Giants last year, Camino Duval. Obviously traded for David Bednar from the Pirates. He's been incredible as a closer. Obviously a lot better than Devin Williams. Closed a bunch of games for us last year. Had a lot of saves. They got a couple good guys in the pen. Obviously, we lost Weaver and Williams, so those were two guys in the pen. But, dude, I mean, Luis Hill can go to the pen. I mean, Will Warren can go to the pen. I mean, there's some guys that we have that can play in the pen. In fact, I think Will Warren, obviously, he wasn't the best starter. He would not his best stuff in the first inning. But, dude, that guy can pitch. I mean, he would pitch 6 shutout innings after he gave up 4 runs in the first inning. So I mean, these are all guys that can go to the pen.
Mindset to do that. You gotta have some kind of mindset to hit with 6 runs. And I mean, like be in 6 innings and go through all that and still keep your composure.
And he still does. He did many games last year.
So I mean, that speaks volumes. I definitely think that, like, you're not wrong about the defense and the mistakes last year. That was
Yeah,
like,
it was. Listen, dude, it's
quite.
every year. All you're trying to do is just beat the Dodgers. Ultimately, that's all it is. So.
What about Vlad? You guys don't still hate Vlad every day?
I mean, listen, dude, Vlad's Vlad. He got paid. He got paid huge. What did he get paid? Like 450 mil from Toronto or 500 mil?
And what's the year total on that? What's the year total?
Oh, it's ridiculous money. It's ridiculous money.
I
But I mean, dude, you look. They lost Bo Bichette. Now he's Met. That was a great pickup.
I think so too. So that I was going to segue to that. I do think that that's something really interesting. But when I'm looking at both of these clubs, I wanted to just point out, as fans of the sport, we should really consider ourselves lucky because when I look at the books of somebody like the Padres, I think in my head, yo, thank God, this is my situation, and whatever their situation is over there in Santiago is a whole nother one in itself. I saw that in 2028 they're gonna have their cap that they're gonna have to give all these players guaranteed is 122 million.
Yeah, I
What?
saw that too. And they actually have a pretty nasty lineup. Obviously, they lost Luis Ariz. I think he went to San Francisco actually, but I
Yeah,
mean
but by
that
the
guy
time
batted 300 every year. Played for the Marlins for one point at one point too, I think.
but then I think to myself, like, wow, we're not that far from places like 2030. You're going to end up having guys who are 38 years old on contract for numbers that just don't seem plausible.
Yeah, no, no doubt, no
Put
doubt.
yourself in a hole that I mean, so like in terms of both of these teams here in New York, I really do put a lot of faith in, at least on the Mets side, guys like Lindor, and the rest of those boys who are in the bullpen for the Mets. I grew up watching like guys like Jose Reyes go crazy in '06 and then eventually lose to St. Louis. So to see this resurgence of the Mets in the last couple of years where we ended up making playoffs and making some kind of movement, I can't tell you, it doesn't matter how things shake out. That's a blessing, okay? Because for years being called my entire team sucks. Wow,
Yeah,
wow, different. It hit different, but we still good. You know what I'm saying, boys? We still good.
agreed. Listen, bro, we got about 10 minutes left. Corey, any other topics that we should touch on here? I know we talked a little bit of NHL. I see on the sheet here Matthew Kachuk chirping Leon Draisaitl. Did see that. Always the bridesmaids. I don't really know what did he mean by that. I
Yeah,
don't.
I mean, essentially what Matthew Kachuk was trying to say is that Leon is never a number one option because he plays obviously side to side with Connor McDavid. So my question to you is, by him chirping that, I mean, is he the number one option on the Panthers? I think we know the answer.
I mean, I think that he's the most impactful player on the team,
True, but you could also say Leon Draisaitl is very impactful on his team.
but he's not more impactful than Connor McDavid.
Well, okay, but also Matthew Kachuk is not more impactful than Alexander Barkov.
It's debatable though.
But it's not though.
30 more points is not debatable.
What do you mean? 30 more points? When?
He had last. How many more points did he have than Barkov last year?
I didn't check.
Yeah, probably close to 20 or
I'm
30
just saying.
points.
I think that Matthew Kachuk is more heart and soul of the team. Actually, I don't even know. You could say that about just the way we've looked. Obviously, Chucky came back a little later than what we.
Draisaitl's a top 3 player in the NHL. So Draisaitl on any team would be
Okay,
the best
so
player
swap
on the
them
team.
out.
Kachuk for Draisaitl?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be incredible.
All right. So, anyways, I mean, I think he can chirp just
Yeah.
due to the simple fact that he has 2 Stanley Cups to show for it. But all I'm just saying is I don't know.
I thought it was weird. I thought it was weird to say that to him. I definitely did. I didn't understand it until I guess you just kind of explained it
yeah,
to me
that's
right
what
there.
that means.
But it was definitely weird. No doubt about it. What you think of the Olympics so far?
I'll be honest with you. I really haven't been tracking.
No?
I'm kind of just waiting till the very end. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much what I'm planning on doing. Let's do this. I'm gonna go to my text messages with you.
Speaking of text messages, did anybody see that KD's burner account went public or no? We're going to talk about that in some
I
facet or
did not see
another.
that. I did hear about it
Oh
on
my
Twitter. I don't know anything
God!
about it.
Oh my God, brother man! We got Kevin
What happened
Durant
on that?
getting the burner account leaked. You had all of his teammates. We had all down the line. He said that basically, in terms of the last couple of years, all of his you could see from most of the text messages of his burner account who was his biggest issues. When it came to Devin Booker and Frank Vogel, he quoted them as being Mussolini and Stalin of the locker room. That when Devin won, it was Devin's team, and when they lost, it was KD's team.
When you
Then
say
when it comes
Devin won, what are you referring to? Devin won. Devin won what?
No, when Phoenix would win games, it was
Oh,
because of
got
Devin.
it.
When they would lose, it was KD's fault.
Yes, and so then when he moves up, so then he said the only person who wasn't competitive with him on that kind of guard slot was a guy like Kyrie, which is interesting because it gives a different narrative to what we've kind of given him in the locker rooms of other teams before. So to have like both of those guys, and we saw a bunch of their clips, and they always went viral for their interactions. He was like, "We're one and the same." That like you could see that certainly he was. There was some humility that Kyrie would show amongst his particular teammate. He said Steph was not able to get any kind of critiquing during film room. That everybody in the room would look at him like, "Are you crazy, KD?" And when it comes to guys like, which I thought was interesting, is new teammates, which is what I'm gonna ask you guys really quickly. How do you guys feel about that setup? He basically was saying that the kid Sangoon can't shoot, can't play defense. He said that he said that the brother not Kevin Porter Jr. Yeah, Kevin Porter Jr. Or no, the other guy, Jabari Park Smith. Jabari Park Smith was an idiot. I won't say the word that he used because it's not proper, but he ended up alluding to the fact that he was a person who was of low intellect. And I just wonder, and I'm asking this to you guys, with all of that coming out for the Houston Rockets and them being in that 4 seed slot, which is a very delicate one because it means, home court advantage or not, what does that kind of do for the rest of the locker room and what that does for Houston?
Well, is it confirmed that these tweets were by him?
From what I understand, it's the IG burner. That's from what I understand. And if I saw it on Shams, then I gotta see it as true.
Wait, so Shams reported this.
From what I understand.
Oh, I don't know about all that.
Anybody can fact check me, please fact check me. That's something that I would love. But from what I understand right now, there are some serious rumblings in the NBA right now about what's going on.
I could touch on one thing you said there. When referring back to when KD was his son, just didn't seem like the right fit for him, bro. I think that team made a real big mistake. Obviously acquiring him. They traded all the youth for him, and it obviously didn't work out. And that team went super downhill after being up 2-0 against Milwaukee and then losing 4 straight. And that team was really, really good, bro. I mean, that was when Ayton was playing his best, and obviously Booker. And I just think Phoenix has been downhill since then, although they're playing really well right now. And a lot of the games that they've won have been without Booker, funny enough. That addition to Dylan Brooks, he's been incredible this year.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been incredible. I mean, there's nothing bad to say about him. Dropping 25-plus points a night. Carrying that team on his back.
Filling in where it needs to be, being a mini Charles.
Found anything on that?
No, I tried to fact check you. I even went to Shams' page. I searched up Shams, Kevin Durant. I couldn't find anything, brother. So
that's fair.
And I feel like that would be at the top if that was to be true. But
no, 110%. So I'm curious. We'll see. I guess how the media plays out. But if this ends up if that ends up happening, if you guys end up seeing it for yourselves, please speak on it for sure some more, because that's something I'm very curious about, because in general it doesn't sound like, once again, I don't know, I feel like for a couple of years KD has had some clear troubles with getting teams really to that.
I mean he's like a Kyrie. I mean he has an alpha mentality. He can be somewhat toxic to the locker room. It just a good thing a lot of times doesn't. A good thing sometimes just goes wrong whenever it's James Harden in a locker room, Kyrie Irving, or even Kevin Durant. That's another reason why that type of talent did not work out when those guys played together. It's an ego thing. It's a mindset. I wouldn't even throw Russ in there, even though Russ has also played with those guys. But Russ has his own head issues as well. But mainly those three, Kyrie, James Harden, and Kevin Durant. It's just something about an ego that's within them that just doesn't coincide with other players or even coaches.
James Harden for sure.
The Cavs.
Say again?
Well, Zach touched on that earlier. I think Zach said that was a great acquisition for Cleveland. We'll see what kind of deep of a playoff run.
7 out of the last 8.
I do think that guys like that, Donovan Mitchell and James Harden, demand the ball in their hands. So we'll see how that works out. I like that they got that bum Darius Garland off their team. I can't stand him. I don't know why. I do not like Darius Garland for whatever reason. I wish him no success moving forward.
Why don't you like him?
I mean, I just
he was good for a couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, what was the dude that played for the Warriors a few years ago?
Kelly Oubre?
No, Quinn
and Grimes?
No.
No. He's talking about the brother. Quinn Cook.
Well, I hope he has a Quinn Cook career.
Why? What's wrong with Quinn Cook?
Quinn Cook's not in the NBA anymore.
I know he's not in the NBA. I follow him on Instagram. What's wrong with him? Though?
He won. He was a young guy, and he's not in the NBA anymore. I hope the same happens for Darius Garland.
He wasn't that good.
Anyways,
I think Darius definitely got a lot of his. The truth is that he wasn't really a good defender, and you know what? He wasn't really consistent enough. He couldn't give you a 25, 30-point.
Newsflash, though, James Harden isn't good in defender either. He sucks too, as far as defending.
But when he wants to play, he'll play, though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
He plays out the season, wins a ring, then what? He's 36 years old, and maybe he hangs it up.
Yeah. No, he wouldn't hang it up. Nah. Ego goes back to
He'd
ego.
go after the bag.
No,
Yeah, he's
Hard-
right. He'd go after that bag.
No,
True.
Harden's not hanging up. Hey, I want to, while we're wrapping up, I did want to end on, I want you to blind rank these 8 head coaches. You ready, Zach?
Blind rank them.
Blind rank
love
them.
that.
So
Love that.
You got 8 positions. Use them wisely.
Got it.
All righty. So the first name up I'm going to give you is, hold on. That's why we have a great editor with Ethan, even though he'll keep his name in it because I just said it. All right. So go ahead and blind rank these 8 NFL head coaches. You ready, Zach?
Yep.
First name up, Kevin O'Connell.
Kevin O'Connell is going to go right at number 3.
Wow. Okay. All righty. Andy Reid.
1.
I should have kind of saved him. I messed that up a little bit. That's okay. Mike McDonald.
2. Has to be, right? Just 1.
Mike Vrabel.
4.
Okay. Liam Cohen.
5.
Okay. Nick Sirianni.
8.
Wow.
I don't know. There's too many rumors about that guy.
Sean McVay.
Oh, my God. He'd be way up there. Yeah, this whole list is messed up. 6. And 7 is going to be someone fantastic. Let's hear it.
And that means number 7 is Dan Campbell.
Yeah, that was an awesome game.
Listen, you put them together.
Yeah, blind.
Okay.
If I would have ranked them in order. How about I rank them in order now?
But that's a part of a blind rank.
I get it, but how about I rank them in order now?
Sure, go ahead, knock yourself out.
Let me rank them in order now. I'm going to put Sean McVay at 1. If I had to do it in order, I'm going to put Sean McVay at 1. I'm going to put Andy Reid at 2. Mike McDonald at 3. Dan Campbell at 4. Kevin O'Connell at 5. Liam Cohen at 6.
Wow. Over Vrabel, huh?
Mike Vrabel at 7. And
Wow.
Sirianni at 8.
All right.
Some great coaches right there, bro.
We'll see what the comments have to say about that. But blind rank, that's the point of a blind rank.
Of course. I liked it.
No.
I liked it.
But you just are upset that you put your GOAT Dan Campbell at 7.
Him and McVay too low.
Yeah. I don't make the game.
Jeff, Jafar, any last words for the show, brother? We really appreciate having you on, bro. It was a blast talking sports, hanging out, brother. This is what we love to do. So any last words for the Zach Smackz show?
Only thing I gotta say about the Zach Smackz show is that you guys are doing an incredible job. You guys are clearly well versed in the sport, in sports in general. I hope everybody is tuning into this and genuinely respects the kind of work you guys are putting in. The energy here is genuine. I loved being on here. I was nervous as all hell.
Nervous? Oh, brother, you killed it.
Yes, thank you guys so much. And we say something in Arabic. I'm gonna share it with you guys. It's shantarontan atonton. This is specifically a Moroccan thing. But you know what?
I
like that.
Easy, yo! Look, he's half Habibi already, bro. I knew the vibe.
Let's hear you say it faster. I like that.
Easy, you. So, yo, Jack Schmack, do me a favor. Next time you guys are doing something and doing nothing or need something to do, go over to the Zach Smack show. Easy.
Brother, I'm not even doing an outro. You're the man, brother. Appreciate you, Jeff. Appreciate everyone tuning in. Peace out. It's your boy Zach.
You guys are awesome, for real.
Peace. Thank you, Jeff.